Oh, fuck, bud. It's been like 9 months since I posted a video. Oh god, I hope I didn't miss too much in Warframe. Let's see. We got new arcanes, Gaia Prime, a Hot Devil Man, new health tanking arcane. Nah, never mind, it's kind of bad actually. New thick mommy Warframe. She's completely overpowered, and you can do solo cap with her without any mods. That's kind of cool. Wait a minute, when did they change afflictions? Oh no. Whew, okay. Never mind, Divine Spears is still untouched. Oh, but I guess I got Blood Altar. Damn, there goes the Voruna build. I guess it's like kind of okay. She's only the 49th most popular frame. It's not like her prime's coming out or something. I'll just update her build whenever I get to it. Hello?
Hey Will, I'm thinking about getting into level capping here soon, and I really love Voruna. Do you have a build I could look at?
Of course. I have to update it real quick, but I can send it right over.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Hey Pookie. So Varuna's like my favorite frame of all time, and I know you love Cascade. So I'm wondering, do you have a level cap build I could use?
Yeah, I can sauce it as soon as possible. Man, I guess I should focus on Voruna as my next frame.
I'm gonna need you to hang up that computer call and come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth.
I'm not unpacking that right now. Fuck, bud. No matter what I do, I can't salvage the old Afflictions build. The changes gutted any supercharging interactions, and the explosions I get are far and few between to justify even running the setup. Man, I just don't know what to do. What the? Is that BB No Money?
No, it's me, Skig.
Oh, hi Skig. What's up, bud?
I've come to give you this. You need to use it in your Voruna build. It's the answer to, everything.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Of course, bud. Anyways, I need to get back to skigging it. I'm skigging it.
Huh. I wonder what Skig wanted me to use this for. Oh. I think I understand.
What? Let him go.
I'm colorblind.
Oh, hello, buds. My name's Will, and I love Cascade. And what a better way to celebrate Voruna Prime coming out than with my own coming out as Varuna's personal puppy boy. Like a yip, kind of? Like a... I'm kidding, of course. I do have a Voruna build to cover, but before we do that, I would like to give a quick shout out to some very good friends of the channel. Labra Lovely, By the Blythe, Mordekami, and the Big Skig. They actually helped me with the intro of this video. Their socials are on screen and in the description below. I would highly recommend checking out them and their content. So, Voruna. This is actually a repurposed build from the old Blood Altar setup, where you would create a gray bar enemy, apply infinite damage to that enemy with afflictions, and then you would use Varuna's 2 ability to spread that damage. It was quite powerful, but having an infinite damage mechanic like that in Warframe is probably not healthy, so understandably it got fixed. Now, Greybar enemies cannot have their existing statuses re-afflicted. The Blood Altar setup relied on this core mechanic, thus killing the build. So we adapt. The setup does make a couple weird choices, one of which being completely foregoing any modded base damage on a melee weapon, but there is a really good reason for this, so before I show you the full build, I do have a little bit of explaining to do. Starting with afflictions. If you're unfamiliar with this arcane, in short, when you hit an enemy with a melee attack that applies a knockdown, ragdoll, or lifted, it'll reapply any existing status on that enemy at a higher damage. That higher damage base calculation is based on the average damage of the existing statuses. An interesting behavior of this base damage calculation was actually pointed out to me in my Neja video. A behavior that me and my community now call the average dot sum. When Afflictions applies to an enemy with more than 2 damaging statuses, it'll take the average damage of both dots and sum them together and use that sum as a base reapplied damage for both statuses. The heat dot in this scenario just got supercharged by Afflictions. This is the core mechanic behind all of Voruna's status spreading builds that leverage this arcane, because this mechanic pairs very nicely with how Voruna's 2 works. Voruna's 2, Fangs of Rushk, while also being a very effective movement tech, one which gives me the same vibes as a certain fox from a few particular Five Nights.
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier.
Also has a very powerful status spreading mechanic built into it. On leap, Voruna will apply 5 random statuses of the 13 base statuses to the targeted enemy. On that enemy's death, they will spread only the initial 5 applied statuses. So this is to say, if you cast the ability multiple times on a single enemy, only the first 5 statuses from the first leap will be spread on death. For dot statuses, the damage that they spread is calculated based off the average damage of their own respective statuses at death. Meaning you can increase the dot damage with external sources, like weapons, before the enemy dies, resulting in a higher damage of the spreaded dots. Affliction supercharging doesn't care what dot is on the enemy, it will just increase all of them. So as long as one of the 5 statuses applied from her 2 is a dot, which according to this calculator is pretty high, Voruna can spread the high dot damage that can be applied from Afflictions. Pretty simple, right? Get a melee, add Afflictions, add some damage, and it doesn't work. Alright, I'm not going to pretend I understand exactly how Warframe works under the hood. I'm just a humble cascader who is doing his best to convey my observations of this very complex game. What I think is going on here is when an enemy is hit with a melee, the damage calculation is split into 2 parts. The initial hit, and then everything else, with Afflictions being part of the everything else. This is to say that if the initial hit damage is enough to outright kill the enemy, Afflictions does not apply. A similar behavior can be seen on the Harmony melee. A melee that when striking an enemy with a heavy attack will expedite all dots. The damage of this expedite is communicated with a number separated from the initial hit, and when the initial damage is high enough to kill the enemy, this expedite doesn't apply. For Voruna's Affliction melees, you just get a very low spread damage. Cool, now we're faced with the problem of needing to do low hit damage to not kill enemies, but very high status damage so that the supercharging is significant enough. For level capping and Cascade, we take the lowest EHP enemy we will ever encounter, and accounting for viral, we divide this number by 4, giving us a max damage of around 300,000. So a safe number to remember is a 250,000. With full Voruna buffs, full melee buffs, and priming from corrosive and viral, as long as the melee hit damage is around a 250,000, you will never one-shot any Cascade cap enemy with the initial hit. An honorable mention here is the Hate melee. Its hit sits just below the damage ceiling and applies an Affliction status on the first hit in its neutral combo. This performs pretty well inside of Cascade, but only inside of Cascade caps, because almost hitting for a 250,000 on a regular Steel Path enemy most of the time will just outright kill them. And while yes, a lot of my content and builds are solely focused on Cascade, when I do make a build, I like it to be able to translate to the other parts of the game. This brings us to the bow, specifically with the Clashing Forest stance mod, which its neutral attack also includes an Affliction status, but at half the stance damage. And on top of this, with a little melee speed, this initial attack becomes very easy to spam without diving fully into the neutral combo, meaning you can re-afflict enemies multiple times, thus solving my Cascade level cap scaling problem. This is quite literally the perfect weapon for this setup, and I'm going to shout him out again, but without Skig's help, this build would not have existed.
Oh, like TV. That's funny little internet humor for everyone in chat. Did you guys know that calc is short for calculator?
You okay, bud? For the melee build, there's really only 5 important mods that are needed for the setup. Galvanized Reflex, Elementalist, Weeping Wounds, Fury, and Toxin Damage. We do really want to choose Toxin Damage here because we can run Toxin Damage shards on Voruna for even more consistent explosions. The last 3 slots are really up to you. I went with a little bit more crit damage because of level cap reasons, and a little bit more range because it's kind of fun whacking enemies from over 10 meters away. The modded status chance here, combined with Voruna's buff from her 1, is more than enough to guarantee a Toxin proc on every single hit. On Voruna herself, we want to make the status spread as big as possible, so we mod in Overextended, Stretch, and Cunning Drift. We also run the Prey of Danar augment, which augments her Shroud, specifically the marked enemy, which after you've pounced on a marked enemy, when they die it'll increase the radius of the status spread by a 2.5 multiplier, resulting in a 43 meter non-line of sight AoE. For energy econ, we run Flow and Equilibrium. Continuity increases her invisibility duration. Here I like Rolling Guard to help me survive a little bit better at level cap. And Ready Seal combined with Galvanized Reflex on the melee gives us a 6x combo multi on the bow, which allows it to activate its Incarnon without needing to maintain any combo. Finally, for strength, we run Intensify, Molt Augmented, and Arcane Impetus. With Impetus here making a lot of sense because Voruna's 2 can stack it all the way up to 13 stacks, allowing you to get the full benefit of the Arcane. It also grants ability efficiency, which is nice. An important thing to note is with these strength increases combined, we hit just above 200%, which is a crucial breakpoint to hit because of the subsume choice of Smite. You see, picking up subsume for this build was kind of interesting. She doesn't need more damage, so all the damage subsumes are out. She doesn't need more energy econ, and she doesn't need more survivability or crowd control, which kind of just leaves a utility subsume. Smite fits this build perfectly because it solves one of the biggest pain points in its core gameplay loop. If you have played Voruna's status spread before, you would have run into 2 very annoying situations with the marked targets. Either one, the marked target lands on an overguarded enemy, or your pounce applied 10 cold procs, thus freezing the enemy. And if you didn't know this, you cannot apply afflictions to either of these enemies. Because we're at 200% strength, Prey of Danar's vulnerability reaches 100%, and combine this with Smite's 50% health damage, 2 times 50 is 100%, you can just one cast kill these problem targets. This does not break Voruna's invisibility, and triggers a remark from her Shroud, allowing you to reattempt the status spread on a new marked target without completely halting your momentum. Another aspect of running Smite on Voruna is the tangential gameplay loop that begins to emerge. All of a sudden, a pure caster build starts to form, one in which you find yourself hunting down marked targets, literally casting spells on them.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
The actual kill potential of this setup becomes quite apparent with the companion of choice. Butterdog, or the Hound Companion, is a pretty well covered build, so I'm not going to dive into it too much here. If you're looking for some more information, I've linked a video that explains it more thoroughly. I'm also starting to hate the sound of my own voice, so for the sake of brevity, Momentous Bond, whenever we kill an Xmas unit, applies a random status to our companion's weapon for a duration. Manifold Bond allows those new random statuses to apply to the companion's precepts, with the precept of choice being the Synergist Prospectus, an ability that bounces a spark in between enemies in a large AoE. Effectively, this combo just primes enemies around you with every base status in the game. All these statuses and priming is nice, but the real mechanic we're taking advantage of here is the status kill assist. Admittedly, this is something I haven't fully researched out, but in concept, if 2 allies damage an enemy with dots, regardless of how that enemy dies, the enemy's death can actually fulfill some on-kill conditions on both allies. One on-kill mod that does work with this assist mechanic is Contagious Bond, which on death will spread the statuses on the enemy that died to nearby enemies. And if those statuses kill subsequent enemies, this can self-re-trigger, with every re-trigger multiplying the status damage, leading to millions of damage. Small caveat to this interaction, by the way, the mileage of this is heavily dependent on the enemy density. but I have ran Cascades with this build from Exo 0 to 107, where I did not hit a single enemy with my melee and instead opted to purely cast spells. Surprisingly, this led to a very respectable KPM, making her pure caster form quite effective even inside a level cap content. The combination of both her melee loop and her caster loop, which by the way you get for free without changing a single mod on the build, creates a lot more room for this build's skill expression. This is something I actually value a ton for Warframe builds in general. While yes, I do enjoy the premise that this build offers, a 43 status room clear is very fun. On the other hand, the learning process of when to engage effectively both sides of this build has led to a very enjoyable time in mastering its gameplay. Hoo boy, that was a lot of information. But that's pretty much the build. I hope I didn't get anything wrong in this video, but if I did, I probably will hear about it in the comments. Which I do encourage, by the way. I would also encourage, if you're looking to deepen your mechanical knowledge of Cascade or Warframe in general, to join my Discord. I have surrounded myself with some of the smartest people that this community has to offer, and I would not have gotten to the point that I'm at without their help and knowledge. Also, if you're looking to just play some Cascade, bud, you should come by my Twitch stream where I hold and host a guaranteed fissure cascade that anyone is allowed to join, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 3 p.m. PST. As for this channel, I hope to post more content, at least more frequently than once a year, given I'm able to climb myself out of the madness that I find myself in these days.
You don't wanna let me rest in peace. All the things you said still are haunting me. Should let this die, but I'm weak. Wrapped around your finger even though you're dead to me.
Because it's so much, you like genuinely figure out some of the coolest fucking interactions because of it.
What do you think I'm doing right now, bud?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Like the Voruna build has literally evolved.
For real.
See you later, Apes!
God damn.
I love when they walk by an Xmas, bud. It just means they're dead.
Gosh.
Oh, fuck, bud.
Dude, that's the equivalent of like a little Joker goon walking by and a fucking piano falls on him.